Hello, good morning. Welcome everybody to Invest UP, Government of Uttar Pradesh's exclusive podcast. Today we have a global pioneer in the auto sector from Ashok Leyland, the MD and CEO, Mr. Shenu Agrawal with us. Thank you, sir, for coming, taking out time to talk to us and for welcoming us in your facility in Chennai.
Thank you. You're
Thank you.
most welcome.
Thank you, sir. We'll jump straight in. We understand that Ashok Leyland has multiple facilities across the country. In India, your entry to Uttar Pradesh is via the Lucknow facility, which has recently been commissioned. From the MOU signing in, I believe, September 2023 to the recent commissioning of the facility, and I believe it was in record time that the government recognizes. We want to understand what was your strategic decision to come into Uttar Pradesh and what's the reason behind Ashok Leyland's quick execution?
Okay, so see, Uttar Pradesh stood out for us because of mainly three clear reasons. Number one, I would say, is the market itself. You know, as a business, we are always looking for markets that have a higher potential for growth in the future. And Uttar Pradesh being the most populous state, I believe 20% of the population is there in Uttar Pradesh. So definitely Uttar Pradesh represents a very big market opportunity for us.
Right.
Actually, it all started when we met the CM Yogi Adityanath ji in one of the investment forums. And his vision on growing Uttar Pradesh as a market, especially on electric vehicles side, I think his focus on sustainability really kind of prompted us to look at Uttar Pradesh more deeply.
Right.
So I would say market opportunity is definitely one. I think the kind of development we are seeing in Uttar Pradesh, the kind of urbanization we are seeing in Uttar Pradesh, the kind of infrastructure we are seeing in Uttar Pradesh is really remarkable.
Right.
And we did not want to lose on that opportunity because we do believe that Uttar Pradesh would be one of the top economies in the country. So that was definitely reason number one. I think the other thing was the clarity of the policy that Uttar Pradesh has laid out for such investments was very attractive. I think it is again directly led by the current government in Uttar Pradesh, and we really like the way they have formulated the policy for industrialization. I think they are doing very good work in upliftment of the whole economic progress in the country. But the alignment of that with the needs of the industry is something again which attracted us a lot.
Right.
And a third, I would say, in hindsight, which we didn't know earlier, that the kind of decisive administration we have in Uttar Pradesh is really remarkable. I mean, like you said, we completed the whole project in a record 18 months. And we had told the government that it will need minimum of 24 months, if not more, to establish such a factory with the scale, etc., that we have and the technology we are putting in the factory. But only because of very proactive decision making of the government, we could complete it in less than 18 months. So I would say those would be the three reasons, in my mind at least, that pulled us towards Uttar Pradesh.
Right, sir. Taking from that conversation, sir, when it comes to Uttar Pradesh's policy framework, specifically the FDI policy or the foreign direct investment policy, also to highlight that Uttar Pradesh is the only state to currently offer investors an FDI policy apart from central government.
Right.
Specific to FDI and policies relating to Fortune 500 companies, what was it that attracted you from a manufacturer's perspective, sir, to Uttar Pradesh and the policy?
Yeah, I think the policy, firstly, I would say is very, very comprehensive in nature. I think it is also very practical. That is why I said the way the government has laid down its policies, giving a lot of transparency, giving a lot of detail, giving a lot of actual execution kind of support is what we like about the FDI policy, or for that matter, any other Uttar Pradesh government policy. I think when we went through the whole policy, I mean, of course, incentives, etc., play a huge role in this decision making. which were very, very forthcoming. But I think the way the policy is written down, the clarity, the detail it provides us, makes it very easy for an investor to take that decision. You know that we have more than 10 plants in India in different states, and we always interact with various state governments to see where we should expand our business, where we should expand our manufacturing footprint. But in the case of Uttar Pradesh, the policy was so clear and transparent that it took us not more than a couple of weeks to really decide that this is a state where we have to be in.
Right, sir. That's actually a commendable input for the government to receive from market leaders as yourself, sir. We'd also like to understand and learn about your experience with government of Uttar Pradesh and Invest UP. If you could quote an instance or an intervention where government of Uttar Pradesh and Invest UP helped accelerate processes for you.
Yeah, see, in the initial stages, when we decided to put up this factory in Lucknow, I was personally very involved because we wanted to set it up in the right way, in the state. And it's a very prestigious project for us also because this is a huge move from Ashok Leyland to move into sustainable mobility. And as we have said, that this plant is largely focused on producing electrical vehicles. And therefore, I was personally involved in making sure that we set up the right process and the right steps to make this successful. And I met, pretty much everyone in the administration, UP administration, from the chief secretary to the Invest UP CEO and other people, and a lot of other local collector, the DM, etc. And the kind of support we received was just tremendous. We were really very happy. I think one is that I can actually say that they treat this not just as an investment, but they treat it almost like as if they are doing their own project, right? This proactiveness, this regular monthly meetings we had under the leadership of very senior officers, making sure that all the participants of the decision making are in the same room and quickly those decisions are taken. I'll give you one example. For example, like in any state, when you set up a factory, there are number of approvals that are required, right? There are land approvals, there are fire approvals, there are environmental approvals, and a whole lot of other approvals. In UP, what we have seen is that everybody, all the departments would be under one meeting in one room, and all the issues would be discussed very transparently. And the beauty was that decisions were given instantly, right? And that is the biggest reason. I mean, we could have, normally such a project that we have now put up in Lucknow would normally take, I would say, 30 months or even more. But in UP, we could do it in 18 months. And the only reason was this proactive decision making that we received from the administration.
Right, sir. That's actually half the timeline that you suggested, sir. Almost
It
half
is.
the timeline.
It is actually so, yeah.
Right, sir. So we just spoke about approvals. I'd like to ask you, Nivesh Mitra is our single window system for approvals, and the intention, the aim of Nivesh Mitra is to, make projects, facilitate projects to go in a timely manner and to help investors with applications and, NOCs, etc.
Right.
How did you feel Nivesh Mitra aided in your work, sir?
Yeah, I think this is a kind of a revolutionary platform, I would say, because again, like I said, this provides investors mainly two things. One is the transparency of the whole process. The way the steps are lined up, the way actions have to be taken by investor or by the government or by different departments. Those are very, very clearly laid out. So one is definitely transparency. And the other is this discipline of having everybody on the same portal, whether it is the fire department or the local Lucknow administration, or even the, since we are closer to the airport, we wanted some clearances from the airport authority. So all these departments are on one platform. I think this is the power of digitization, which the UP government has used very, very successfully to attract investments.
Right, sir. So we believe the Lucknow plant is also a representation of Ashok Leyland's long-term capital commitment to the state of Uttar Pradesh. We understand that currently the plant has the capacity of manufacturing about 2,500 vehicles, commercial vehicles, and has plans to expand it to 5,000 per annum. That's a huge scale, sir. We'd like to understand how you were confident enough to put up such a facility at such a large scale in Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah, so see, this is a major investment for us, no doubt. And I would say this is also investment in hope that because see, right now there is no market for electric trucks and buses in the country and also in the UP state. But this plant is mainly focused on producing electric trucks and electric buses. Initially, we would start with the buses because we think buses would catch up faster in the market. And the reason we have put so much faith in investing in this electric vehicle plant is that one, we think that UP being a large state will offer a lot of market opportunity for us. But especially, like I said, when we met the CM, Yogi ji, and also the administration, I think their focus on sustainability, e-mobility, environmental issues is of a very, very high order, right? And that is the reason we got this faith that UP is the right destination for us to invest when it comes to electric mobility. We did talk about these issues with the administration while we were signing up the MOUs and the agreements and all that. And I think the state was very, very proactive in telling us that how they want to move away from fossil fuels to something more environmental friendly. What is their plan of adopting electric buses and electric trucks in the future? How the CM himself is thinking about, bringing e-mobility in a big way in the state. And I think once you get those kind of assurances, I mean, we will know that electric mobility will happen in India at some point in time. But when the growth framework, the policy framework is so clear in the minds of the government, it really helps investors to move forward and make that investment. Even sometimes we think it is ahead of time, but when you get all that assurances and all that vision from the top leaders in the government,
Right.
then you go ahead and take that step.
Right, sir. Happy to facilitate in that way, sir. You also mentioned about buses and production of buses. We believe that Ashok Leyland is one of the largest producers globally, buses. If I'm not wrong, you place fourth currently globally.
Yes.
From the Lucknow facilities, sir, are there any plans to export, maybe expand the operations further?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, this facility is, while it is focused on domestic initially, but definitely in stage 2, we would like to export a lot of vehicles from this particular factory. I think one thing we like about Lucknow as a location is its connectivity. Like I mentioned, we are really impressed with the kind of infrastructure projects UP government is undertaking or have already undertaken. And it's not just road connectivity, I think the rail connectivity, even the waterways that they are developing,
Right.
I think that gives us a lot of boost. At least we know that the northern and the eastern markets, we can cover from Lucknow very, very well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, we are starting with 2,500 capacity, but I'm hoping that within a couple of years or maybe even lesser time, we should go to that 5,000 capacity benchmark that we have for this factory.
Right, sir. Looking forward to that, sir. Lastly, I'd like to touch upon the employment bit as well. Currently, Uttar Pradesh is going very aggressively to reach its target of $1 trillion economy.
Yes.
Under the able leadership of Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Parallelly, we're also looking to expand opportunities in employment and to retain talent. How would Lucknow facility of Ashok Leyland aid in employment generation, not only locally, but regionally and also statewide?
Right. It's a very good question. And I think that, whenever we talk about employment as a country, we should not just talk about numbers, but we should also talk about the quality of the employment. Right. And you know that the EV story in India is still very naive. It has to take shape. And we also know that in India, we have no other option but to switch to these alternative fuels, which are much more cleaner and greener. And therefore, one of the challenges that country has is not just to generate employment, but to also bridge the gap that exists today in terms of the type of skill that our workforce would need in future, right? Whether, I mean, there are very many sunrise sectors, high-tech sectors that we need to bridge the gap on skills, but we think that electric mobility is one of those very important ones. And therefore, when we come to Lucknow, our goal is very clear. It's not just the business, but also bridge that skill gap that exists in the overall country and also in UP. And therefore, our idea is to train and skill maximum number of people around there, right? Whether they work for us or even if they don't work for us, to make them, to provide them those skills, provide them that training that is very essential and unique to electric vehicle ecosystem, not just the vehicles, but the entire ecosystem. And the ecosystem involves many different things. For example, charging stations, a whole lot of other things. So while, of course, we will deploy the number of people that we will require, and we are committed to deploy most of them locally coming from UP domicile, but our main focus is to bridge that skill gap. And that is the reason that we have opened a very unique center of excellence, which we are calling Nalanda Center of Excellence, within our plant, which will provide such kind of critical skill training to many youths in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So I would say, yes, we will deploy more and more people directly and indirectly through our supplier base and many other things that we will do around the plant. But I think one of the most important criteria also is how we prepare the youth of Lucknow and Uttar Pradesh to make them more employable in the future for these new requirements that the country will have.
Absolutely. So that's a great initiative, sir. Glad to know about that. And so only companies like yourself who come into the state or a region and develop the entire ecosystem. This is precisely what we're looking for, sir. So thank you for sitting with us, talking to us about Government of Uttar Pradesh, your experience within West UP. We look forward to have continued strong relationships between Ashok Leyland and Government of Uttar Pradesh, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.